Hi, my name is Stella and today we're back with another video. Last video I spoke about the IELTS common errors and I spoke about PTE also, about the writing part and the common errors that students make in the writing pattern or in the writing test for their PTE test. Today I will be talking about the speaking part, the common errors that students make in the PTE speaking. So I've listed around 6 of them here. There are many of them, but these are the main 6 ones, and if you avoid making these mistakes, there's definitely a surety that you can score more than 7 in your speaking. Right. So if we're talking about the common errors in speaking, I want to talk about the first one. The first one is do not speak too fast. Do not speak too fast especially when it comes with the first type of question, that is read aloud. Now what happens is students sometimes, because this is the first module to start with, students get more nervous and they get more tensed about it. And moreover, there are some people who say or who think that you need to speak very fast because you need to finish it in 40 seconds. But that is not true. You should not speak too fast. Yes, of course, the rate of speech has to be a little bit faster, but it does not mean that you speak each and every word without even pronouncing each and every word properly. And especially the 3 main things, that is the intonation, the punctuation, and the stress that you need to give on certain words. Now, why is it important? Because when you are reading a 2 or 3 line sentence, it means you're trying to say something about it. And for example, when it is a conversation between 2 people, even when you're talking with someone, if you are talking just in one tone, it sounds very boring. The conversation turns out to be very boring. So most importantly, especially when you are giving a test, it has to sound interesting. It has to be heard very properly. Each and every word has to be pronounced very well. So this is the main 3 things, is the intonation, the punctuation, and the stress that you need to put, especially on your words like your connectors, and especially after a comma, when you need to change the tenses, when you need to change the subject, stress on those words are very important. Yes, the next is the fluency, which is also very important, but at the same time, like what I say, rate of speech must not be very fast. Each and every word has to be pronounced properly. The second point I have is do not use some words too frequently. Sometimes we are in the habit of having some of 2 or 3 favorite words, and we try to use those words as much as we can when we are in a conversation. But when it comes to giving a test, again, using those words again and again would not be a very wise thing to do. So for example, if you have words like about or moreover or however, you tend to use these words every time in your speech. So please avoid that. The third one I would like to talk is about do not use colloquial language. Colloquial language means casual language. Naturally, we all are aware that it is a test and our language skills are being checked. So for that reason, words like wanna, gonna, though we try to avoid them, but sometimes it does come because we are not very much conscious at that time of because of trying to give our best, and that happens when certain mistakes are made, like the colloquial language, that is the casual language that we use when we speak to our friends and family. So that kind of language cannot be used in the PTE speaking. Now coming to the 4th point, do not take too many pauses. Of course, one thing you know very well, that if you take a pause for more than 3 seconds, your recording stops. But besides that also, for example, if you have to change the subject, if you change the tenses, and especially when you have to change after a full stop. Now the pauses doesn't mean that you have to give a very long one. So it's just half a second for a comma, 1 second for a full stop. That is the only pause that you need to give, and you need to read it as how it has to be read. Right, and coming down to our 5th point. 5th point is do not use too much fillers. Fillers are like your and these kind of things. When you use too many of them in your speech, it shows that you're not sure of what you exactly want to say, or you don't know what exactly words. Now sometimes when we are speaking, especially when you're describing an image, or we are giving a lecture or something like that, now what happens is that students try to find out a particular word. Now that word does not come to their mind at that particular time, so they give a lot of fillers at that time. So please avoid too many fillers. Your hums and your ums should be as much as you can say. If you use too many fillers, it just shows that you are not fluent and proficient enough in the English language. Number 6, which is the last point, is do not speak in fragments. Naturally, even if you're having a conversation with a person or you are giving an interview, if you're speaking in fragments, that means jumping from one subject to another subject and then taking another point and giving another point, it all goes haywire. That means your lexical resource, the way you present your points is not very clear to you. So in this way, what happens is that again, there will be a negative marking on your approach towards the English language and your fluency also. So please do not speak in fragments. I will repeat all these 6 points again. The first one is do not speak too fast. It should not be too slow either, but not very fast. Every word has to be pronounced properly. The punctuation has to be checked, and also you also have to stress on the words that you need to stress, like your connectors, and especially when you're changing your tenses. Number 2, do not use some of the words frequently. There are some of our favorite words. Please do not use them frequently. Number 3, do not use colloquial language, that is casual language, which is not allowed, absolutely not allowed in the PTE test. Number 4, do not take too many pauses. If you take too many pauses, it shows that you're not clear about a certain idea and you're not fluent about the language. Number 5, do not use too much fillers. Now, using too much fillers also shows which affects the fluency part of your test, and also at the same time it shows that you're not clear about what exactly you want to say. Number 6, do not speak in fragments. Speaking in fragments again shows that you're not clear about your ideas and you're jumping off from one thing to another. When you speak in fragments, that is a big negative marking in your speaking part. So these are the 6 points which you can take care in your PTE speaking, and I'm definitely sure you'll score more than what is required. And it is also very important that you keep this in mind while doing your practice each and every day in your classroom. So thank you for being with me, and stay tuned for more videos.